Hey, Wonderhussy here, hanging out in my own backyard for a change at a very well-known tourist destination, the Hoover Dam. Woo! It's one of the 7 engineering marvels of the world. Huge concrete dam. Everybody knows the story, right? They created it to dam the Colorado River, harness all the energy, and created Lake Mead. I don't come out here very often because it's always pretty crowded with tourists and a lot of traffic. But one thing I really do like out here is they built this beautiful bypass bridge so that if you're on the highway and you don't want to come down to the dam and deal with all the traffic, you can just blow straight across, and it saves a lot of time. But it's a beautiful bridge the way they built it, and watching them build it was really interesting. I used to come out here and watch as they put all the pieces together. Really a cool place. And this bridge is named the Mike O'Callahan Pat Tillman Memorial Bridge. I guess Mike O'Callahan was I'm not sure, he was a senator from Nevada, I think. But Pat Tillman, we all know who he was. He was a fine American hero. He was that football player who left a lucrative NFL contract, I think with Arizona, to join the Army back in the Iraq War, and then he ended up dying. I think he was killed by friendly fire. I don't know, to me he did really seem like a cool guy. I know the term hero gets thrown around a lot to people who don't deserve it, but in my opinion, that guy really did deserve it, because look at all the stuff he gave up and then he died, you know? Whether he was killed by friendly fire or not, it doesn't matter. He still gave his life. He seemed like a solid kind of a guy. Haircut, you could say, your watch to square jaw, and he was an atheist. So there's that. But anyways, if you're gonna lose your life in the service of your country, at least you got a beautiful bridge named after him. But anyways, I'm down here at the Hoover Dam to check out a couple of other lesser known attractions. Not the bridge, not the dam itself. There's a couple of things down here that I think are way more interesting, and I'm gonna see if I can find them and show you. Wow, look at these guys crossing this cable over the Colorado River, Black Canyon. I don't even know what that thing is, but look, there's dudes riding in it. There's one guy waving. Yikes, man, I'm not so sure I would trust that. And then I guess they're gonna take this cable all the way up to this station here and get out. Like, oh man, that's just freaky. I wonder what they're doing. You can see they came all the way back from that side. There's a little, kind of like a cave that they came out of, I guess. Far out. Okay, I came down here onto the dam itself. Well, actually, I'm not on the dam. There's a bridge you can walk across the dam down that way. But I'm not going to walk down there because, you know, well, you walk over, you look down, whoa, it's a bunch of concrete, big deal. That's not really the kind of attraction that I'm into. I'm into something a little quirkier, and I just found it. It's right over here. There's a little plaque on the wall dedicated to someone very special. Look at this. The dog who owned a dam. So basically the story is there was this little black Labrador who kind of wandered onto the construction site when they were building the Hoover Dam back in the 30s, and he kind of got adopted by all the construction workers, and they would feed him and pet him, and he just, you know, I don't know if you've ever worked a job site as a construction worker, but sometimes dogs wander onto the site and they just kind of get adopted, you know, sort of like a mascot. Well, this little dog was adopted, and because he was a black Labrador, and because this was the 1930s, they named the dog N-ggy, okay, which is a kind of offensive racist name for a dog, but it was the 30s, you know, people didn't have the same sensibilities we do now. But the best part of the whole story is after they built the whole dam, the dog ended up dying, and the construction workers loved that dog so much that they put up a plaque in memory of him. Now, when they first installed this plaque here, right after building the dam, so it was like the 30s, 40s, this plaque said, "In memory of N-ggy." Back then, people didn't have the same sensibilities that they do now, so there was this plaque here for years and years, up until the 1970s, that said, "In memory of N-ggy." I think they called him Little N-ggy. Little N-ggy. Okay, well, finally in the 1970s, some poor tourist here complained, or maybe more than one tourist complained, so they had to take the old plaque out and put in something a little more politically correct. So now it just says, "The Hoover Dam construction crew's mascot was found as a puppy by workers at the construction camp. This dog traveled to and from the dam site with them and spent his days visiting the many work areas. On February 21st, 1941, the life of this devoted animal came to an end when a truck under which he was sleeping rolled over him. The grave below was completed by workers later that same day." Oh no, I think I'm standing on his grave. Oh man, I am so sorry, little feller. Anyway, can you imagine what it would have been like to come up here and see this plaque in memory of N-ggy? Especially if you were a black American, you know, an African American. It'd probably be pretty harsh. Now, I know there's a lot of anti-PC sentiment nowadays, and honestly, I'm kind of the same way. Like, I feel like words are just words, and I don't mind people using the most offensive terminology to describe women's genitals, and people call me horrible names, whatever. It's just words. It's just phonics. It's just letters, right? Sounds that we make. Who cares? You know, it's the intent that counts. Like, really, a word like rape or kill is 10,000 times worse than any cuss words, right? But then again, it's easy for me to say because I'm not black. If I was black, African American, I'd probably feel differently. So I have to respect that, and I think it's really cool that they changed this plaque. But I also think it's kind of interesting to know the real history behind it, and that's one of my favorite things about Hoover Dam. There's one more thing that I want to go check out. Okay, here's the other interesting thing about Hoover Dam that I like. I'm here in the Hoover Dam gift shop where you can buy all these postcards and souvenirs, magnets. There's only one that I'm interested in, and that's this one. It says, "Welcome to Nevada, the Silver State." But look, that's me. That's my fat ass right there on the Welcome to Nevada magnet. It's also on a postcard, but I couldn't find the postcard here. I think they're sold out. I did a photo shoot, I don't know, 8 years ago in this showgirl costume that I made, and this photographer sold the photos to a stock photography website. So I don't make any money off of them, but this picture ends up in all kinds of weird places. I've had people email me from England and Canada, all over the place, going, "Hey, we saw you on a poster here. Look at that. Hey." I don't know. I feel like I should get this magnet. It's $3.95, but I think it'll be worth every penny. I should definitely have my own fat ass on my refrigerator, if only to remind me every time I go to the fridge to get food that I better watch it. All right, well, I got my magnet and I saw the construction dog plaque, so that's all I really need to see at the Hoover Dam. I'm not saying there's not more to look at. It's obviously a really cool tourist attraction, and I definitely recommend if you can come out here and take the tour inside the dam. I've actually never done that myself, but it seems like it'd be really interesting. Anyways, it's a cool place. It's only 45 minutes outside Vegas, so next time you're in town, come on by and get yourself a magnet.